Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this. Look at this pretty stitch. This is called a butterfly stitch in the stitch book that I have. It's really pretty. Now I say it all the time, don't think this is difficult. It isn't. It's very much like a Jacob's ladder. You're doing a row of chains. You do 4 rows of chains and then it gets gathered in the middle. I'll show you how to do that. You get this nice textured pattern here in between the stitches with doing a UK double crochet. So all this blanket is made up of are chains and UK double crochet. So you're going to do your foundation chain in sets of 11 and then add an extra 6 stitches, and that should give you 5 at either end and your 6 for your chains. So that's sets of 11 plus 6 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. It's really easy, it's really quick, it's a pretty texture blanket and it's kind of lacy as well. It's really pretty. It's pretty when you see it. So the yarn I'm using, people have been asking, can I please show the yarn? So this is Hayfield Bonus Glitter for this one. It's a double knitting yarn, this one. The shade number is 230. 230. It doesn't tell you what weight it is for the USA. So if you use the size of crochet hook, it tells you to use. So for that blanket you need a foundation chain of sets of 11 stitches, and then we're going to add an extra 6. The extra 6 is for the end of the pattern to keep it symmetrical. Do your chain as wide as you want it in sets of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we'll do another 11. So I'll get my foundation row done and I'll show you what to do next. This is really easy. So I've got my sets of 11 done. I'm just going to do a small sample to show you how to do this. Now we're going to add 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And this is going to keep your patterns symmetrical. So you'll start with 5 double crochets and you'll end with 5 double crochets, and that's where your extra stitches are for on that end. So into the second stitch in your foundation chain, the second stitch, you're going to do a UK double crochet. If you're in the USA, these are single crochets to you. So just go through the stitch and that's your first double crochet. We're going to do 5, so that's 1, into the next one, that's 2, into the next one, 3, in through the next chain, 4, and in through the next chain, a little bit small here, that's 5. Now you're going to chain 7 stitches. Chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to skip 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now into that next stitch you're going to do a double crochet. You're going to do 5 double crochets over the next 5 stitches. So that's 1 into the next stitch, that's 2, 1 into the next stitch, that's 3, then 4 and 5. Do 7 chains and skip 6 stitches. So I've done my 5 double crochets. I'm going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skip 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then we're going to do 5 double crochets. You'll do that all the way to the end, and you should finish on 5 double crochets at the end. So skip 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and do your 5 double crochets. That's 1 into that stitch, 2 into that stitch, into the next one, 3 into the next one, 4 and into the next one, 5. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then do your 5 double crochets again all the way to the end of your foundation chain. So I've done my last chain of 7. I'm skipping 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I'm going to do my last 5 double crochets. You should have 5 stitches left. So that's 1, 2, stitches are a bit small, 3, 4 and 1 into my last stitch, and that's 5. Now if you've done your foundation chain and you don't have enough stitches, you can use this tail end, and all you do is just put it into that last stitch and crochet a few extra chains for yourself if you need it. So this is what you have. You've got these big chains. That's your foundation chain. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn, chain 1 and turn, and you're going to do your 5 double crochets. I told you this was quite easy. Right into that very first stitch. Do your first double crochet, so that's 1, into the next stitch, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now you're going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Skip over all your chains and go in and do 5 double crochets along. So go into your first stitch. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. It's a little bit like doing a Jacob's ladder, but we're not going to do as many ladders on this. So we're going to do right to the end. Just keep doing your 5 double crochets and your 7 chain all the way to the... So you'll keep doing that until you have 4 chains in your little bundle. So it's chain 1 and turn straight into the very first stitch and do your 5 double crochets along. Four and 5. Now what I'm going to explain is, so you'll do your 7 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Over to the next one, do your 5 double crochets all the way along. So for your first set, you need to have 4 chains, and then I'll show you what to do next. So keep working until you have 4 rows done and you've got 4 chains, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now you should have 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 of chains. You're going to chain 1 and turn, and do your 5 double crochets right into the very first stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And if you're in the USA, that's a single crochet. Now we're going to make the butterfly and join these 3 chains together. Not that one, these 3. So chain 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now take your hook under these 3 chains. Go right through and pull your yarn through. And then slip it through that stitch. We're doing a slip stitch. And that is going to pull those together into a little butterfly or a bow, whatever you want to call it. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and move over to your 5 double crochets. So do your 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and remember that last one there, 5. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to gather these 3 up. Gather these 3 with a slip stitch. It's not a double crochet, it's a slip stitch. Just put your hook right through, pull your yarn under and up, and then pull that stitch through that one. Don't yarn over, don't be tempted to turn that into a double crochet. Just pull that loop through that loop like that, and then do your 3 chain. 1, 2, 3. Move over to your 5 double crochets and do your 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now those 3 chains that you done and your slip stitch and 3 chains makes the 4th part of that little bundle. You've got 1, 2, 3, and those chains make your 4th one, and it gathers it like this. So your next section, when you do your next section, you'll do your 5 double crochets, you'll do your chain of 7, 5 double crochets until you've got another 3 chains. So that's what the pattern is. It's done in sections. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because this is your gathering up row. This is the row it gathers it. Keep that foundation one down there, and just these 3, put your hook through, pull your yarn through, and then slip it through that stitch to gather that up. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do your 5 double crochet, 4 and 5. And this is what you should have. That one slip stitch pulls those 3 together, and your chains make the 4th part of that little butterfly. Now this is what you should have. Now what you're going to do is you're going to repeat those 3 chain rows, 1, 2, 3. So you're going to do a chain 1 and turn. Do your 5 double crochets, chain 7, 5 double crochets, chain 7, and do that for 3 rows until you've got 3 more of. So I've done my 3 rows, so I have 3 chains. Now this is what your pattern repeat is. 3 chains, and then we'll do one that's called a gather row, where we'll gather these 3 together. Then you'll do 3 more rows like this, and then a gather row to gather it together, like we did on this one. So chain 1 and turn. You're going to do your 5 double crochets as normal along the top. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we'll do what I call the gather row, where we're going to gather these 3 rows together. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That makes half of the chain. Put your hook through that big space, right through to the back, and pull your yarn through. Then slip stitch through that loop. Don't do a yarn over, slip stitch. Then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So that gathers that together. Then do your 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now gather these 3 together, put your hook through and pull your stitch through and slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Move over to your 5 double crochets and you'll do that all the way to the end. And this is what it looks like. It's pulling these other little butterflies. Now once you've done them, you can just straighten that stitch up and it will straighten up like that. So you'll do that all the way to the end. So you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then gather up your chains, put your hook through, pull your yarn through and slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then do your 5 double crochets. Then what you'll do is you'll do another 3 of those chain rows and then follow that and then do that gather row. These are the 4 rows that you'll keep repeating. You'll keep repeating doing 3 chain rows and then this gather up row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and my 5th one's in there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then gather up your 3 lengths of chain, just pull through and slip stitch, don't double crochet. Now do 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and you'll do your 5 double crochets at the end. You'll do that all the way along your work and 1 into there. Chain 1, turn, and you'll start the next set of chains for your butterfly. So it'll be 5 double crochets, 3, 4, 5. Now chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now when you do all this and you get to your last row of your completed blanket is a chain row, but only do 6 stitches in your last row. You don't want it to have a big loop, so do it like you did with the foundation chain. Your very last row to finish this blanket is a 1 chain row, but only do 6 chains on it for your very last row. We'll go over and do your 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you'll do that until you've got another 3 chains and then do that gathering row. That's the 4 rows that you'll keep repeating all the way up. You get a nice straight edge on your blanket and you don't need a border because you've got these lovely textured stitches in here. I'll show you my other blanket. Who's looking at it? It's really pretty. Now give it a try. It is a 4 row repeat, but it's an easy 4 row repeat. 3 rows of chains and then 1 to gather it in, and that is it. That's how you do this blanket. Now to finish it, you'll finish on a chain row. just do 1 chain row to finish it, but do your chain in 6. Don't do 7. If you do 7, it'll look a little bit high. I'm not finished mine, but that's what 7 chains looks like. But if you want to finish your blanket, do 6 chains and then your 5 double crochet, then 6 to finish the blanket like this. You can leave it like that at the top if you want, just don't do that last row. So if you want the top to look like that, you can leave it like that. You can even do the bottom like that. If you don't want that chain on the bottom, then do 1, 2, 3 and then do a gather row, and it'll be like that. You won't have that chain on the bottom. So there's a few differences with this. You can do it like this, or you can gather that in. You can have 1, 2, 3 and then do your gather row and pull it in so it actually looks like that all the way along the bottom. You can gather that in if you want. You can adjust it here so you've got less in between your butterflies. Instead of doing 5, you can do 4 or you can even do 3 and then do your chain of 7. And when you finish it, you can either finish it like this and don't do that chain. You can finish it on a gather row, or if you do want to finish it on a chain row, 1 chain, make sure that chain's only 6. So that is the way that you can finish this. I think I'm going to finish mine that way. I'm not going to put that on. I'll finish my blanket with that bow at the top. And if you want, you don't need to do that. You can take that in till you've got 3, take that in like that and have it as a bow on the bottom. It's up to you, but the pattern in the book had the chain on the bottom. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you click on the bell icon, then YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.